If you like my videos and you want such more videos, then do like, share and consider subscribing. For the notification, do not forget to tap the notification icon. Thank you.
Good morning students, welcome to today's class. In our last class we discussed about fertilization, and you know that what are the different types of fertilization: internal fertilization and external fertilization. When we study about this topic, that is internal fertilization and external fertilization, number of questions pop out in the mind of students. One of the question is that whether the hen does the internal fertilization or external fertilization. Well, the answer is internal fertilization. Yes, internal fertilization takes place in hen, but the process is different from other mammals or other type of animals. Now, what happens in the case of hen? After the internal fertilization, once the ovum is being fertilized in the oviduct of the hen, then it passes to the uterus. So, what happens in the case of hen? Let me write that. Hen shows internal fertilization. But now the question will again rise that how come it gives egg and why does it sit on the egg for such a long period of time? Well, the answer is that when the internal fertilization happens in the hen, then the ovum which is been fertilized moves through the oviduct to the uterus. So what happens here? Once the internal fertilization takes place in hen, like other animals, hen also goes through repeated division, means the fertilized ovum then forms into zygote. This zygote goes through the repeated division, forming into a embryo, and through this process it moves from the oviduct to the uterus. Now what happens in this process? There are number of layers which happens to cover the zygote, and once the hard shell is formed on the egg, then the egg is being laid by the hen. Now here the layers are formed, but still the ovum is not completely formed. So once the egg is being laid by the hen, then the hen sits on the egg for around 3 weeks till the chick is formed, and then the chick comes out from the egg. So like other animals where the internal fertilization is happening, it is not giving birth to the young ones, it is just laying egg, and this egg is being then developed by the warmth which is given by the hen when it sits on it, and that process is called hatching. I think you all know this term. You have been studying about this term, that hatching is that process by which the hen sits on the egg to make it completely developed. So the egg which is laid by the hen is not completely developed. There are only the number of layers or the hard shell is formed over the egg. But the life inside the egg, that means the embryo inside the egg, is not completely developed. That develops once it undergoes the process of hatching. So now I think you have understood this topic, that why hen shows internal fertilization, and if internal fertilization is being shown by hen, and then if hen shows internal fertilization, then why it sits on the egg. So let me draw a concept map related to it so that it will make you understand the concept in a much better way. So let's understand the concept. In hen, zygote is formed after internal fertilization. The zygote goes repeated division to form embryo. Embryo moves out of the oviduct, and protective layers are formed. Where it is formed? All around the embryo. Now from here, egg is laid and it undergoes hatching for around 3 weeks, for development of chick. So here, how is this happening? So we have here the whole process of the development of chick by the hen through the internal fertilization. Now here I also want to stress on one more thing, which is about in vitro fertilization. So let's understand what is in vitro fertilization. So in vitro fertilization or IVF technique was first introduced. Do remember the full form? IVF was first introduced in Sweden in the year 1978, and Louise Brown was the first test tube baby and born by this process in UK 1978. So this is just a little information about IVF. Let's understand about IVF in a much more detailed manner. So when we discuss about the fertilization process and its type, one more question comes into our mind, that is what is in vitro fertilization. Now in vitro fertilization or IVF, what is it? A number of times you may have seen the advertisement related to IVF in magazines or TV or sometimes on the hoarders near your roads. So what is IVF or in vitro fertilization? And in short it is called as IVF, and the full form of this process is called in vitro fertilization. So what is this process? Well, this process is something which has made a lot of possibilities to those parents who were not able to get a child. Now what happens in vitro fertilization, that this is the artificial process. This has opened a possibility for those parents who were not able to get a baby. So what happens, as you know that in fertilization process, the fertilization process in human takes place in the oviduct or fallopian tube. But in some of the females, that in some of the women, the fallopian tube is blocked. So what is the solution? IVF gives the solution to those parents. In this process, what happens? The eggs of the female, that is the woman, is being taken, and the sperm of the male is taken, and it is kept for several hours in incubator. Once the fertilization process takes place in the controlled environment, then it is allowed to grow into an embryo. Once the embryo is developed properly outside the body of the female, do remember here that the whole process of the fertilization and the development of zygote to the embryo is happening outside the female body. So when it is happening in the laboratory under controlled situation, after the embryo is formed, then it is implanted into the body of the female, and then the natural process of how the embryo develops into fetus and the rest is done normally how in the other females. But this process of formation of embryo from the fertilized egg takes place outside the female body. So that is in vitro fertilization, because this is not a natural process, this is an artificial process, and it was called also, the children born from this process were also called as test tube babies, because here the whole fertilization process is taking place in the laboratory. So let me write about the in vitro fertilization, that what is in vitro fertilization. That the egg of the female is taken and the sperm of the male is taken, and it is fused outside the female body in lab, in the laboratory, in incubator. Then zygote is formed. Zygote develops into an embryo. Do remember that this is all happening in a controlled environment. Why I am repeating this word controlled environment means the environment of a female body is given to this process so that it can successfully develop into a embryo. This embryo is then implanted in uterus of the female. So all this process means this process to this process is happening in laboratory, in controlled environment. Hence, this process is called IVF or in vitro fertilization. So, this process is called in vitro fertilization, and do remember that it is often said as test tube babies. The babies formed by this process is called as test tube babies. So, it is the same process. So, this process has given, I am repeating again, this process has given a lot of possibilities to those parents who were not able to get a baby due to various problems that had happened into the fallopian tube. So this is about the in vitro fertilization. As a science student and as a learner, you may have observed many things. For example, you may have observed that there are lots of animals which give birth to their young ones, while there are some which only lay eggs. And why is this difference, and what are these animals called? Means the one who give birth to the young ones and the one who are laying eggs, and what is the difference between them? Well, in this topic I am going to discuss about that what are these different type of animals. Well, these two different types of animals are called as oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous animals and viviparous animals. Again, as I am discussing the difference between these two topics, I will suggest to put a line in the center of these two topics so that we are able to differentiate in a better manner. So what are oviparous animals? Those animals which lay eggs. Are called oviparous animal, and those animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. So, is there any example that is coming into your mind? Well, we'll write those examples in the end of this topic. So, let's see what are the other differences. So, let's see the next point. Now, just before this topic, I discussed about hen. That in case of hen, the fertilization process is definitely taking place inside the female body, but the development of the chick, means the development of the embryo, is taking place outside the female body. So that is the case in all the oviparous animal, means the embryonic development takes place outside the mother. Whereas in the case of viviparous animal, the embryonic development, means the whole development from the zygote to the time till the child can come outside the female body, the complete development takes place inside the female body, whereas this is not happening in the case of oviparous animal. So the next point will be embryonic development takes place outside the female body, whereas embryonic development takes place inside the female body. So I hope you have understood this point, that what I mean by this point. If you have not understood, let me repeat this point again, that giving the example of hen again, that how the hen, like other animals who are oviparous, the same process happening. Means the fertilization process is internal, the ovum is being developing, and the number of protective layers are formed over the ovum. Once the hard shell is formed over the ovum, then the egg is laid. So that most of the time the egg is sometimes fertilized and sometimes unfertilized in the oviparous animals, and once a fertilized egg is formed and it is laid out of the female body, then the hatching process develops the embryo. Means when the female sits on the egg and gives the worm, then that worm helps the embryo to develop into the whole organism. So that process is called hatching, and that process is not only called hatching in hen, but all the oviparous animals. So they kind of sit on the egg to hatch them. But that is not happening in the case of viviparous animals. Here the embryonic development is completely taking place inside the female body. Now the third point, as they are laying egg in the case of oviparous animal outside in the environment, not in any protective environment, so there are less chances of survival of the eggs. But that is not in the case of viviparous animal. The chances of survival of the young ones are more than the young ones formed in the oviparous animal. So let's write down these points. So the third point is the chances of survival is less in oviparous animal, whereas the chances of survival is more in these animals. So when I started this topic, I told you to remember the examples. Let's put down these examples here in the last point. Well, I guess you can write the example yourself, but I'm just helping you out. So we have birds which lay eggs, reptiles, fish, amphibians, and in case of here, the examples are mammals, means humans, cow, buffalo, all this comes into the viviparous animal. Now before ending this topic, I want to give you one question. As you know that everything has an exception. Means there is definitely not something which can be any rule, anything which can be applied into the mass, means to everyone. Here also there are some animals which are viviparous but they lay egg. So what you have to do in the homework is to find out those exceptions. Write down those exceptions and we'll discuss that in our next class. So this is all about oviparous and viviparous